In this video, I will show a brief report of my solution to the Tunix Hackathon where I teach Gemma to think. So quick introduction. The challenge is that LLMs by default don't create a chain of thought in their answers, and therefore they don't provide such good answers. So the idea of this hackathon was to teach Gemma 2, which wasn't trained to produce chain of thought, to create a reasoning trace before it actually gives the answer. So the objective was very simple. Give tasks, and produce a specific answer within those tags. The constraint was that I could only run this in one TPU session, and my high-level approach was to use supervised fine-tuning instead of reinforcement learning because of stability within that time constraint, but also I prioritize high-quality data that I built myself from multiple Hugging Face um, datasets. More specifically, the datasets, my final dataset had 8,000 examples. The first one and the most prevalent one was from Mapped by Align, which had logic, information seeking, and puzzle questions distilled from DeepSeek R1, which was a perfect example of the type of um, data that I wanted to have. The other one was a very niche data set. It was a cooking data set, but it had chain of thought. It was distilled from Claude, and specifically that gave me open questions or procedural questions that I wanted my final model to have. Finally, I had open thoughts, which included mostly math and logic questions. And finally, the most important data set was Claude distillation that had open questions. My technical stack was Tunix. I used LoRa instead of QLoRa because I wasn't optimizing for memory. And I did multiple studies using 1DB, and I found that the best learning rate was one E minus 4 with an scheduler. And I ran it for more than four epochs. And the result was that all my samples had the proper reasoning tags um, with good um, tags.